Have a seat, Derek. And I will call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Thank you, Derek. And Harriet. Okay, and Dr. Prest is here by remote, off and on.
Chris is
Hello,
delayed.
everybody.
Hi.
Okay. Everyone's had a chance to review the minutes and other things that you got by email. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
I so move.
Second. I have to take votes by voice by going around because of the Zoom. Okay. Harriet?
Yes, I approve.
Okay. Derek?
Yes.
Rhonda? Me? Yes. You already voted.
I
Yes.
did.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
I did.
Okay. All right. So I'll point at you as we do this here, and then I'll call the names of the people on Zoom for any kind of voice vote. Any the things we usually have done in the past by voice vote. Okay. All right. We're gonna welcome Dr. Prest when he shows up again on Zoom. He was here and he had to leave, so he's coming back in.
Hi there.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Hi, Benjamin. You vanished from my screen. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry you couldn't be here. The weather did not cooperate with us today.
No, I'm also very sorry, but when I have multiple people that live on the island telling me to get off while I can, I'm going to heed their warning.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And we have somebody else. Whose dog is that? Zooming in.
That's
Peter Anderson?
Peter Anderson.
Ah.
That's a picture of his dog.
Oh, okay.
That's Dexter.
All right. Very good. I didn't know who to buy his dog. All right. Okay, so we have some policy manual things to review. There's a whole bunch of them. All right. Let me go through them one by one and I'll point around for a vote. All right. The job description for the PA NP.
Approve?
Yeah. I approve. Oh, sorry, you can't tell I'm pointing at you. Sorry. Do you approve?
Yeah, I approve.
Okay, all right.
We probably should have had a motion though, Christine.
Oh, there was I'm sorry, you're right. Motion
Just to make a motion to
approve.
I move to approve.
Can we do these as a group?
I think not.
Okay, all right. Just it would make things quicker, okay,
Yeah.
to get people out of here on time.
Okay.
Because Peggy has an appointment she needs to get to, so. Okay, RN job description. Myra,
So,
Yeah.
whatever.
you need a second?
Second.
Okay. Approve? Yes.
Approve. Yeah.
Derek? Linda?
Yes.
Myra? Me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That one passes. Medical assistant job description.
Yeah.
Motion,
I make a motion. Approve.
second.
Second.
I approve. Myra,
Yes.
I mean. All right,
I have a procedural question.
yes,
Do you ever open it for discussion before the vote?
You're supposed to.
yeah, we can do that. Okay,
I don't know. I'm
yeah,
just
I have never done it
curious.
before just because everyone's had a chance to review all these things and usually input comes in before the
Oh, I
meeting.
see.
People will raise their hand if they want to stop and talk about it. So.
Okay.
Right, exactly. Are there any concerns that any members of the committee has about any of these job descriptions?
Yeah. The only concern I have, which I wouldn't necessarily do it differently, is that it strikes me that for the type of job that this is, the 2 years experience, I mean, not all experience is the same, but 2 years experience doesn't strike me as quite enough, but it's fine to leave it open like that because that expands your pool of candidates.
Right.
Are we talking about the MA right now?
Not the
Yeah,
MA,
I
no,
think-
the others.
I think for the per diems you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's minimum.
Oh, the per diem.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, no, I
And
get that.
as I say, you have to remember that the NPs and PAs may not have experience of this kind of job, but they may have experience in other things. They may have been a paramedic, for instance, okay?
Right.
Which would
That's right,
certainly
of course. Yeah, that
bring
kind of
you
thing.
in, okay? So I mean,
totally
it's
relevant. Yeah,
certainly up for review when you've got a new person coming on board.
right, exactly.
Is that clear to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Substitute coverage policy. Can I have a motion?
So.
Myra's in charge of motions here. I'll be in charge of seconds.
Second it.
Thank you. All in favor? Myra?
Yes.
Aye. You? Yes. Me? Okay, all right. The amendments to existing policies. Hi, Chris.
Hey,
Glad you see you. Okay,
Good
we're
to be
voting on
here.
new policies here.
is this
Okay.
my spot?
Yeah, got your spot here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, medical records policies with amendments. Okay, there's the medical records policy, which has
A lot of stuff.
a lot of stuff in it because of the move to the electronic record.
And then you'll see a clean copy.
Right,
As well as
there's
that's
one with
confusing.
everything eliminated
If that's
on it, and then
confusing,
there's a
you're
new
looking-
copy of what it really looks like.
Right.
Okay,
But this doesn't go, this doesn't cover like my chart. That like Penn Bay have and.
you need access to the, my chart?
My chart is an Epic product. We are not contracted with Epic.
Okay.
Yeah, so your whole thing with my chart is completely different from the health center, okay? And it has more to do with labs and consultations that are done by people who are actually part of Maine Health. Okay, so it doesn't, we don't have to have a policy about my chart.
But we don't have access to any of this, Azalea as agency, right?
No,
No, okay.
So all of it,
yeah,
it just adds to the burden of administration because we're trying to cross-reference my chart versus the rest of the world with what we do here.
yeah, exactly. So it's a little tricky. Okay, so,
Is
this
there a
whole
plan?
business of health, medical records speaking to one another now that everybody's computerized is a big deal. I know when I was working in Massachusetts, the legislature passed a law that medical records, different medical records had to talk to each other. That was 12 years ago and they're still not talking to each other. Because it's very difficult to accomplish. Every single one of these is proprietary and everybody's got their own secret.
Well, not only that,
Ingredients.
but the way they code things is different. And so
Yeah.
translating one code into another is, you have to go item by item. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's really, it's a tough job, okay? Okay, so we're doing, existing policies with amendments, mission and organization. Myra, you wanna vote for the
I so.
motion, accept, the second? Myra,
Accept.
okay, yes, good, okay. Hours of operation. I don't know why that has to be a policy that we authorize, but we'll do it anyway. Excuse me. Myra, you wanna
Okay.
make a motion for
I make a
that?
motion for that.
Okay, second, Sarah, okay, approve, approve, Linda?
Yeah.
Me, yes, okay. And the HCAB bylaws, there's really not very much of a change except for the, yeah, to approve it as we have already had it, okay, because we did an extensive renovation of those many years ago. Okay, motion, Myra?
So move.
Second it. Approve it.
Approve, I approve,
Improve. Yeah.
okay, all right. All right. Review and approve the 2026 fee schedule.
Yeah. I have a major concern about that.
Yes,
I'm not familiar with the regulations that govern rural health centers, but when I was in practice, it was considered illegal and actually fraudulent to have a fee schedule that charged out-of-pocket patients less than the insurance companies.
yeah.
Has this been
I'm
run
with
by
you.
legal counsel?
I'm with you on that. It's making me very nervous. Okay, I mean-
And the concept was that if the insurance company or Medicare pays 80% of your fee, I mean, because I had partners who wanted to do this. They wanted to waive for people who just had Medicare without supplemental insurance. They wanted to waive the copay, and that was
Mhm.
considered fraudulent by Medicare. They considered the $80 they would say we should be paying 80% of the $80. And so I wouldn't adopt a fee schedule like this without legal review.
I'm with you on that. I'm absolutely there. The idea that we have different charges for different people in real life, I mean, I had private practice for many years and we Robin Hooded all the time, okay? Because we could discount for an individual visit, okay? But having it published as a fee schedule like this is, I think, asking for some sort of legal trouble. Chris, so I think you're gonna need to have an attorney consult on this, okay? There may be specific rules for the rural health centers that I don't know anything about, because I did read them all 5 years ago when I became a member of this board, but I haven't read the new ones. So, I think we need some legal consultation on this. We approve it.
Peggy, maybe you can give us a little bit of insight with this copy of the fee schedule. I know that in some of our prior versions of the fee schedule, what we had was a rate that was billed to insurance, and then there was a prompt pay discount for payment that was received in a timely manner. Because you're correct, the self-pay verbiage of having a different rate for self-pay charges is not permissible.
Yeah.
A prompt pay Peggy, because I know you had done some of the updates on this. Do you know when or how this self-pay language made its way?
I don't know how the self-pay got on here because we never.
More input. So it may be that you could just do prompt pay, but I still think that legal opinion would not be a bad idea before we authorize this.
I also have a consultation on Thursday with a new financial services group for cost reporting and credentialing. And depending on whether or not we move forward with them, we may have an option of input from a new expert consultant on this before the next meeting as well.
Okay, that'll be good. Okay. I think in the meantime, we're gonna have to proceed with the old fee schedule because I don't think we can even vote on this the way it's here. Okay. Because again, as I said, I don't think it's legal to call, to have different fees.
Well, can't you vote on the fee schedule as you've listed?
What? Harriet? Now you're.
Well, I said you could vote on the insurance, the column as the fee schedule. And then at some later time, if you want to add a prompt pay discount, you can still do that, right?
Yeah, I think we could do that, and that will not inhibit our billing. Okay. Is everybody comfortable with this?
I'm sort of.
Approve the insurance.
Just
billing.
improve the insurance column and not the self-pay column. All right, and that way we can get the bills out for the insurers, because that always takes a long time. As far as I know, you send out the bill, it goes up in the air and circulates, and then it comes down about 3 months later, 5 months later, whatever. All right, what are you not comfortable about, Vera?
I think I get it now.
Okay.
I was just,
So we can go ahead and authorize the insurance column for billing insurers and leave the possible discount for prompt pay for a different meeting. All right. Brendan, do you have any input on this?
Hey, thanks for asking. That's something where hearing those concerns, I do feel like having legal counsel involved would be a good idea in between meetings. I work primarily in a larger health organization where that's sort of built into the process. So it's not something I have as much firsthand experience on, but I think if anyone has any questions, talking to the legal side would be a great idea.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that as well. Okay, so can we have a motion to approve only the insurance column of the fee increase schedule?
I'll make a motion for that and then, wait for the legal counsel.
Right, okay. All right. Derek?
Second it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that.
For discussion,
Harriet?
Yeah,
And
okay.
yes,
for discussion.
discussion.
So are you guys now going to, because for Maine state law, you have to publicly post what the self-billing charges will be. So you guys are defaulting back to the raised charges for 2025?
No, not for 2025. We're
Because
not.
you're not initiating your 2026 self-charges because of the way that it's worded. You still have to, if I come in
No,
with a
because
broken
then
case,
there's,
you have to
that
tell
wouldn't
me
work.
that any cost to pay out of my own pocket. Where will that fee schedule be currently posted?
It'll have to go to the old one.
Which
because-
oh, wait a
is-
minute, wait a minute. Then
What?
you've got the same problem of having different fee schedules.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
can't do different fee schedules. We
You'd
can't
have
have
to use,
different fee schedules.
you'd have to
Right, so
use
you
the
need-
current, you'd have to use the current insurance schedule would have to be the same as the self-pay schedule.
Right, Harry, that's what I'm saying, but you guys currently have it posted from January 2025 that you have a self-pay charge rate.
Right.
You guys have been working with that for the past year. So that's my question is, are you guys now going to absolve your self-charge that has been previously established and was working in order to go back to the insurance rates for self-pay also? I think that's an important question because you end up with over,
Yeah,
I think the last poll was there was over 30% of the island that doesn't have insurance that's accepted at the health center.
Yeah,
And so just the knowledge of if I come in for a tick bite,
yeah. I think if it's posted as prompt pay and it's on the old schedule, I think we'll be safe. What do you think, Harriet?
Right, I think that's probably fair. Of course, you have to allow the insurance companies to have a prompt, I mean, if you're gonna have a prompt pay discount, it's gotta be available to everybody.
Right, yeah. But if we call it prompt pay.
Yeah.
And for the time being, stick with the old one.
Yeah,
I think, first of all, our patients will be comfortable with that, okay? And it will probably be as legal as we can get before getting advice.
yeah.
That makes sense to everybody, because I didn't know that they had put up a schedule like this somewhere. My visits to the health center mostly are focused on,
Now, we have to have our fee schedule posted
yeah, yeah,
for anybody walking in.
yeah. And I didn't look at it myself,
Right.
okay? So I was, didn't see that there were two different fee schedules up.
So yeah, it seems like it's gonna be pretty critical to get the legal consultation on this issue of having separate fee schedules. So will somebody be able to do that?
Chris?
We can start that process. It may take hiring of an additional consultant. Our town attorney is not a healthcare attorney.
No, you need,
And until some recent conversations, our town attorney was not actually aware that the town was operating the health center, rather than the health center being operated by a corporate third-party entity.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
yeah, I think you need somebody who knows healthcare law.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I speak up quick? I have a thought. Yeah, so I don't know if we would fall under the umbrella of the Maine Primary Care Association, but I know that they specifically, have a focus for federally qualified health centers and rural health centers. I don't know if they would be able to offer free consultation or at least advice, because I'm sure we're not the only group where this has come up across the state, knowing that we have a lot of, different, smaller health centers as well. So the Maine Primary Care Association could be a potential avenue if that hasn't been approached yet. No promises, but they could have to point us in other directions as well.
Right, and I'll bet they have an attorney, someone who does advice for them. Brendan, could you get that information to Chris?
So I actually am in contact with their president,
Okay.
whom I work at the state level.
Okay.
They cover FQHCs, but at this point, they are not covering services for RHCs.
For real?
I have been trying to get them to change that because I think it is a very similar set of needs. And for them to start to pull some of the RHCs into their membership. But right now they are exclusively focused on the FQHC.
But they still
Population.
might know the name of a healthcare attorney that we could
Oh,
consult.
absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm thinking, use them as a resource.
I'm also wondering if our current billing consulting group may have
Somebody who's.
someone who can provide us some guidance
Maybe,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna, basically, the answer to your question is, we don't know. Until we get legal advice, I think we have to take the fee schedule as it presently exists and just leave it up. But we can bill the insurers more. We can increase that billing, okay?
So we're
we'll just
gonna leave the
old schedule
2025 up
We'll leave the 2025
and
up,
just put it 2026 until we have a
yeah,
remedy.
yeah, until we have a remedy.
This may be something, once we get the answers that we need on this, we may want to do an interim HCAB meeting for approval.
Yeah, it's, yeah, we'll just call everybody up by Zoom now that we can do it. Thank you, Carrie. All right. So we didn't do the actual formal vote to approve
No,
the
we
insurance.
had a
column.
motion and a second. We haven't gone around.
Okay, all right. So to approve just the insurance column on the fee schedule increase. Ready? Derek? Linda?
Yeah.
Me? Yes.
So
Myra?
I'm a little bit confused. I mean, it seems to me if we're doing that but leaving the 2025 self-pay, you're creating the same problem of having two separate fee schedules.
It's just that we're not changing, we're not increasing it at this time.
Right, but you're increasing the insurance charge, so now you have two separate fee schedules.
Yeah, we still have we've had two separate fee schedules for the past
Oh, I
year.
see. Ah,
So we're not moving to change it. But except to call it self-pay, not,
Okay.
yeah.
Prompt
prompt
pay. Okay. Okay.
I mean, if the insurers are willing to pay on the day of the visit, I'd be delighted with that. That would be
Right,
perfect.
exactly. There's a big advantage to that.
Yeah, it would be wonderful, okay?
Yeah.
But they're immured in their towers of paperwork pushers.
Totally.
Okay, so I guess we passed the insurance column. Okay,
You need to finish your vote. She hasn't said yes.
oh, Harry.
Oh,
did you-
yes, yes, that's fine.
Okay, all
I'm
right,
gonna call it prompt pay. Okay.
yeah. So we need to call it prompt pay, very important. Okay. You're on, Chris.
All right. So I think the biggest update that I have from a director perspective are that there is a little bit of restructuring that is happening from a personnel standpoint. And some of that is the driver for some of the new job descriptions that are coming down the pipeline. Ambulance has something going on. Yeah, what that is real quickly. Our on-call can handle. So as we have made we do have is perform an initial assessment of someone that walks in the door with an acute concern and figures out whether that's someone who can be booked into an appointment or someone that they really need to come knocking on our door and say, you need to come out of this scheduled office visit and come see this person. Well, it's someone that can help us support our prior authorizations, someone who could backfill if Odessa is out on vacation, having that role will take up some of the role that Beth was previously working in when she drops down to per diem over the summer.
What was that role?
So it was Beth O'Mara's previous role where she was working mostly daytime work in the clinic,
The title?
nurse practitioner. So this will be one of our full-time clinical staff positions.
And so on the previous note, you mentioned having an additional person who had more skill sets. Is that a replacement or is that an extra part?
That will be a replacement. So that will be elimination of 2 part-time file clerk positions that are no longer supporting our needs and creation of a new second medical assistant position in the practice.
Right, and the cost for that is on par or?
The cost for that will be roughly on par. It will be probably a slight increase from what we were paying previously because we are paying for an additional skill set. But it will be on the same order of magnitude.
And the title for that one
is medical assistant, and was one of the new job descriptions that was on our agenda for approval today.
Chris, that new medical assistant position would be a full-time position
That will be a
with benefits.
full-time benefit
And your
position.
previous part-timers were solid stands benefits?
Correct.
Okay, so there'll definitely be an increase in expense.
There will be an increase for benefits,
And skill set. both.
and skill set, correct.
On that topic, if I may, the 2 positions that I believe that you're referring to that would be replaced, those were currently filled by Islanders that have been there in excess of 5 years each. What, proposal do you have for reshuffling them, or are you just kicking them out?
So at this point, first of all, the new medical assistant position is also being offered to an Islander.
At a higher rate?
At a higher rate.
I'm just looking at 2 to 1.
Yeah,
Yes, and the 2 individuals who are currently in those roles, and again, they're not doing the same job.
Right, but they're municipal employees.
That they're municipal employees, so that they have been informed that their positions have been eliminated.
You guys didn't put in. Are you looking at it as a RIF, as a reduction in force to 2 to 1, but not keeping one and replacing it with the skill set?
So that the file clerk skill set, we don't need at all anymore. We're not maintaining paper files now.
Nowhere in the town.
Not within the health center. If there was another opportunity within the town where there were still paper files being maintained, we would be happy to provide a good reference for those individuals for that position. But within the health center.
No, that's my question, is have you guys looked is there any place that you could have put them or suggested or helped expand a position within the town as opposed to just laying off 2 Islanders?
Yeah, it's an island, so we typically take care of each other if we can.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that is
You know?
getting into a little bit of personnel decision, which although we can provide broad rationale, we're not able to comment on personnel decisions, and I would defer that discussion to Janet.
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to say that those 2 had to be, I was just asking, has the effort been put in to finding additional support for that?
this advisory board, it's not their business. And it's not Chris's business either, okay? His business is to make recommendations to the
I
town.
think what you're saying is no.
And the town administrator is in charge of hiring and firing. So Jan, you need to bring that up with Janet, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not our role.
We're big
it's
government-
all difficult.
big government now, yeah.
Yeah, any kind of change is difficult, but this could be foreseen when we move to the electronic record, that the need for paper filers is gonna be gone. Okay, and I've been through similar transitions in my own practices, so I know that that's always hard.
And that is also a part of compliance with federal law. So we were required by a law that was passed in 2009 to make that transition to
An
electronic health record. And
everything
every
that falls out
other
from that.
every other institution, all of the big hospitals had to be in compliance with that by 2014. We took about an extra decade to make that transition. Rural health centers were given some additional latitude. But there is actually a financial penalty for staying in that old model as well, starting at 1% of our Medicare reimbursement annually and going up by 1% for each year that we're not in compliance. So that shift in our record keeping model is a part of federal compliance and fiscal responsibility for the clinic.
So how long have we been paying the 1% penalty? Since 2019?
I would need to look back at our records as to how long we have actually been impacted by that and how heavily it has been actually enforced.
Okay. Do you guys know if that's already in your guys' budget? Because we're looking at a very, very tight budget coming into the next year, especially with Waldo County and
It probably
bill
out
that
of
we would
revenue.
pay out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it would come through in the form of decreased revenues. Yeah, thank you for that clarification. That was nicely put.
Okay, so we'll look into the revenue should go up.
Revenue should
And
go
we're
up,
still
correct.
staying at the more expensive prompt pay. Okay. Cool.
I would, if I
Could I
just,
comment on that, Chris?
Yeah,
Oh, so one comment I wanted to bring up about this is, as I've been, meeting the staff and working as a new supervising physician, I have heard overwhelmingly that a large contributor to burnout. So
burnout doesn't resonate with people like me who go in occasionally and see an empty office with 6 people right now.
yeah.
And it doesn't look good,
Here's the deal. You don't see what's happening when you're not directly in contact with a clinician, okay? You walk into the doctor's office, and then in primary care, this is what happens, okay? You have, say, a 15-minute appointment. An hour later, you walk out of that, you're the doc or the NP or the PA, you walk out of that encounter because it's taken a lot longer than anybody thought. Now you've got somebody chomping at the bit in the waiting room, okay, who's angry. And you still have to write up the notes, okay?
I understand
And answer the phone calls that have come in the meantime. So there's a lot of work.
I'm not naive to, my brother-in-law does it, I know how he uses my chart, I've seen him use it, I know
Yeah.
what time it takes, I know how much the regulations require you to record these things. How many people move in and out of there per day on average? How
Chris,
many patients?
I wish that I had my December report.
Just roughly,
On average, probably about 10 per day. We have a big seasonal flux in volume, and our summer months are a big driver of that. If our providers can't survive the summer months, they're not here for the winter months.
That's a different question, and that's something that we're trying to serve everybody on this island now in every capacity, and we should stop. We should figure out that either the people who make those increases occur and expect a suburban or urban experience, we should find a way that may not be under your jurisdiction of power, but I think as a town, we need to begin to think about that because everyone's expecting everything just like they get it on the mainland, and I'm sorry, but it's not possible.
I am all for the acknowledgement that we can't make everyone happy. I do completely agree with you about that.
Thank you.
the other thing is that there's a considerable amount of after hours work that is happening in any primary care that might not be happening in other specialty situations where you've got hospitalists and emergency rooms to back you up. So there's the phone calls that happen at 3 o'clock in the morning to tell you that a kid had a tick bite.
No, I understand.
And those are real pieces of work, and they certainly contribute to burnout in primary care because of lack of sleep.
Yeah, no, I understand. I guess I'm coming from a historical perspective, and I'll back off after this because you have business to do that's important. But we had one doctor for 250 years, or 220 years. One doctor who had one little office, maybe. That's how I grew up here, and we seem to make it somehow. Now, okay, we have a lot more dangerous things and tools and things around, and we cut ourselves more often, I'm sure, there are a lot less regulations guiding how we did things, but I'm just wondering, should we think about history as a guide?
No,
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say no. I don't think that
Absolutely
we're
not.
practicing medicine in the same regulatory climate. I don't think that we're
So you think
dealing
it's
with
external forces of regulation, other things
You,
that are.
you,
external forces of regulation. I think the fact that patients are living longer. We are seeing more complex geriatric patients.
93 and 2.
With complex medical conditions. We're managing complex cardiovascular diseases that would give some of the mainland providers a run for their money.
you
Some
can't
of
go by
my-
history. Things are totally different. Totally. I mean, they're
some of
different
my
from when I
colleagues
retired
are
a few
work in
years
this
ago.
environment.
History always says, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it, thank you.
yeah, David, I can just tell you, okay, I did primary care for 50 years. And it's nothing like it was.
No, I agree, yeah. I understand about the regulations and all the hassles and, yeah, and the increased costs.
Right, I mean, when I graduated medical school, there were 4 drugs for blood pressure.
But I mean, also just diagnose.
Now there are 57.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have to know them all and their side effects and their drug interactions.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yep.
That's not to mention the growth in cardiovascular drugs, and practically everything else, okay? There's a huge change, okay?
It may cut down on some of that a little bit, but where we're really seeing that medical assistant being able to help with our burden, is that if we have a day that we have, even if it's a winter day where we see 6 patients during that day for an hour-long physical. During that time, we have patient phone calls, medication refill requests that are starting to pile up throughout that day. And then at the end of my day, I stop seeing regularly scheduled clinic patients, usually by around 5 o'clock. It's often 8 o'clock at night by the time I'm done with those phone calls. And I may still have a backlog. A lot of those things are things that could be done by a medical assistant during the day. There is not that.
And it's a critical part of it, isn't it?
She has now resigned from her ambulance role. It is a completely separate administrative process. It's not something that we require. And the MA certification in and of itself is not an adequate certification for the state for purposes of being able to work on the ambulance.
By the way, does Azalea use any AI to help with these note taking, the meeting note taking too? Because it's a.
There are a couple of applications that I think could be potential options for us. It would be someone else that we would have to contract with. It would be another fee that we would have to pay. And it's not something that is currently in our proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year. I know some of the main health offices are now using some of the AI platforms. They are a learning curve in and of themselves. Some of our providers still have not completely wrapped their heads around the basic functions of Azalea. We're still doing a little bit of training around that. So I think we're not quite ready for prime time yet, but I think it's coming. I think it's something that we should have our eyes on.
Yeah, Lincolnville uses it in the AI, in my chart, and it seemed to help her like really streamline her day quite a bit. So, okay, thank you.
Are you done, Chris?
I am.
Okay. Well, we've kind of covered a lot of other business given our visitors. Does anyone else have anything else to bring before the board today? We need to get Peggy out of here.
Oh, no, I've got plenty of time.
Are you?
Yeah, I got a reservation if the boat runs.
Oh, you do. If the boat runs, okay.
If the boat runs, or maybe it's done.
If there's no other business, then we're gonna have a motion to adjourn. Do I have to round robin on this one, Carrie?
Usually, yes.
Are you happy that we're adjourning, Harriet?
Chris, is there an outline of the proposed restructuring in writing anywhere? Just, I know that we kind of cut you off, and so I think that there was other spots in there that wasn't covered today. I'd just like to be able to read through it, that way we don't hold up anybody.
Do you want to have a meeting with Chris on your own to ask these questions?
That's a good idea,
I
actually.
think- I think that would be a good idea.
No, I think it's better for it to be public.
Oh, okay.
And so with me being on the select board,
Uh-huh.
it always gets fuzzy and dicey and hazy anytime that I'm meeting without public opportunity. And so, no, I would rather not.
I think in that case, I would again reiterate that I would defer to Janet.
Okay, she has it.
She would be the best one to speak to those concerns.
Thank you.
Okay. A motion to adjourn has been entertained. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Jerry, Linda, me, Myra, Harriet.
That's how.
All right. Brendan, thank you very much for zooming in.
Yes, I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. I do want to offer if next time on the island, if anybody would like to meet in person, feel free to share my contact info, Chris and Christine. I'd be happy to meet with people or have a phone call in advance so we can have a one-on-one chat.
Right, given that the next meeting will probably, we may need to have an interim meeting between now and the next really normally scheduled meeting, which is only 4 times a year, because of the fee schedule question. I'll have to let you know when that's gonna be, and if possible, we might want to book it at a time that you're gonna be on the island,
Yeah, that sounds great.
okay? All
Hey,
right,
thank you, everybody.
thank you.
Bye.